Bob.
I like how you call them. I like how you call them. Look at that. Get a little subtle tap right in there. Winter smallmouth fishing on the Delaware River. Hey, I'm Bob Murray, Delaware Valley Outdoors. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. A little subtle tap like that. Look at that little baby. Yep.
Very good. Very, very nice.
Woo. Yeah. Come here. You're supposed to come this way. You're supposed to come this way. We're feisty even in this cold water.
Absolutely.
Get away from that
Spin
aluminum.
you around here a little bit.
It's a fighting fish here. There, nice fish.
Well done, sir.
Nice fish. Come here. All right. Smallmouth fishing with my good friend Kurt. The man's crazy. He says, Bob, it's real cold. Let's go fishing. I'm going to go fishing. Kurt, it's great to be out here on the river with you. Nice fish, nice fish.
It's a
Why
beauty.
in God's name do you invite me out here this time of year, man?
Just to enjoy what you got in your hand right there.
We're on the Delaware River, and it's December. Water temperature is about 41 degrees. Air temperature is a lot colder than that. But Kurt invited me out just for that reason. People don't realize how good smallmouth fishing here on the Delaware River is this time of the year, right?
Absolutely. Very rarely see anybody out here. We'll be the only people we see all day, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. But hey, a lot of guys don't realize that you're missing some of the best fishing.
Yeah, that's true. Kurt, let's just talk about, I mentioned the water conditions, the weather conditions. Why do you like this type of water and weather conditions for these smallies at this time?
Well, when the water is up high like this and it has a nice color to it, they tend to slide off to the side, and you know they don't get spooked. It doesn't frighten them, doesn't scare them, and they're just kind of hanging still.
And the areas that we're looking for to fish are little current breaks, am I correct?
Little current breaks. Anything that breaks the current. I'm not so much concerned about depth. I'm more concerned about anything that these fish can just hang on the seams of the current. There's a fish.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Nice fish.
Yeah, he's a beauty. Oh yeah, here we got a nice one. Come on. Oh yeah, there's a nice one. Whoops, sorry. A little bit of panic set in there. You know, he hit that, he thumped that pretty good. Wasn't no problem there. Nice, nice colors to him.
Again, right off, again,
14, 15 inches maybe.
Right off a current break.
Right off of a current
break. That's the thing
break.
that you have to look for this time of year. Well, anytime, really, current breaks are always important.
Current breaks are always a good thing.
But this time of the year, you really want to look for those current breaks. And again, how we're fishing it is just throwing it in and letting it bounce right off the bottom, but moving it real slow. And the hits, they're not real strong hits, but it's just that little tap.
Right,
Kurt,
they're just picking
you
it
were
up.
talking before, how you watch your line.
Right, and all I'm looking for is I see the hair jig touch the bottom, and I know it's sitting on the bottom, and I'll lift it up 6 inches, and all I'm looking for is even just the slightest little twitch in the line. And if I see anything out of the ordinary, you have to set the hook immediately. You must not hesitate.
Don't hesitate. That's the word.
That's the word. You gotta get programmed. You gotta concentrate, but you have to get programmed and do not hesitate.
And again, even it feels, if it just feels anything any different weight on that lure.
Absolutely.
Set the hook.
Absolutely.
And you catch a leaf.
Absolutely. Or a little twig or
Yeah.
something like that. But one of those times, that little twig could be the fish of a lifetime.
That's right. Hey, oh, I got one. That one just picked it up. I didn't even feel it tap.
Almost like a mush hit,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
Wow, what do you have here?
I don't know what I got here, but it's a nice one.
What are you fighting? I haven't seen him yet.
I can't move him.
Holy smokes. What do you got here? This might get interesting. Is it fighting like a smallmouth, or does it feel like a carp? A carp will take a hair jig in a minute. We got to keep him away from this this wire down here.
He ain't listening to this.
He ain't having none of it. That's
No.
got to be a carp. He gets down wrapped around that. I try to drag him out here away from that stuff.
I can't. I lost
I
him.
lost him.
Man, that was a nice fish.
What did you have?
I don't know.
Let's see the scale. Should be a scale on there. No scale. Wow. Especially on the cold water days like this, the sun is radiating heat, and that's pushing a little bit warmer. Who knows? It even goes up a half a degree, and the fish are going to hang out there. And it's one of the areas I target. Even rocks out of the water, that kind of thing, with the sun beating down on them. If it's anywhere near a hole, it just kind of has a natural fish attractant to it. Been my experience.
Now again, we're coming up on this piece of current break here again, right?
Right, exactly. Got a current break behind it. Over the years, the water has formed a nice little hole behind it, and you have a seam. As you can see, the current seam coming down alongside of it gives them the opportunity. They can come out into the current a little bit if something's coming by, or some type of food source or anything that they may like, and they don't have to come off of it far, and they can go back in there and rest. There's no current. It's nice and cozy for them.
Yeah.
And, they kick back and relax and wait for stuff to come to them. Because they're certainly not going to be chasing anything in this cold water. There are exceptions, but for the most part, the winter becomes a. Oh, there he is.
Nice one? Yeah.
Ain't bad. He ain't bad. It's a nice fish.
Nice fish.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah. Come on, little fishy. Can we get him?
I'll get him. Now that pickup was very light.
Come on, fish.
There we go. Boy, did he ever inhale it too.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Yep. You wouldn't think this time of the year to catching that size of a fish out here on the Delaware River.
Rob's on.
I like when you call them like that.
Another nice one. 14, 15 incher. Spunky little rascal, aren't they?
Yeah. Hair jigs. Gosh darn it, these are strong fish. Look how I took it.
I should have threw right back out, see if we get a double going here.
Yeah. Come here. Oh. Nice. Chunky too. There are fat fish.
Are they beautiful?
Yeah. I love the color of them too, Kurt. In the wintertime,
absolutely
they seem to
gorgeous.
just.
In the stained water, they tend to lighten up a little bit,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. But yeah, they're just absolutely
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
just unbelievable. All right.
little guy, not bad.
He came out a little farther?
Yeah, he was out a little further.
Yeah.
Here again, I just thought I'd, just felt a little excess weight there.
What we're doing right now is we're behind this building here with this pier out, beautiful pier actually, and it's putting out a nice big current break right along this edge here, and I really do think that the cement does make it a little warm up, and we got the dark wood too, so I think that helps.
Right.
And we're bringing it out now. The fish, sometimes you'll find them up at the head of it, and sometimes you'll find them at the bottom end of the pool. Now we're finding them right along the stretch, but now they're coming out a little farther too, so they must have moved out just a little bit on that edge.
I actually think they're going to move out as the day moves on too, so water comes up a degree or two, or
they'll move out a little bit.
You know, if you're fishing in you're trying to fish the eddies or, the pools or the pockets, you still can't neglect coming out into the current a little bit. You got to keep trying what works. You just got to keep trying till you find something that works.
Yeah, 'cause they're not just going to suspend in one spot there and sit there. They're going to move in and out, in and out. There you go, another one. This one's a little feisty. Oh, get out of there. Come on, baby. Come on.
Well done, sir.
That's a good boat. You know what? Most of the fish that we're catching, we're right in the top.
Yep.
Right on the top. Well, you find that a lot with jigs, obviously.
Yes.
But it's one of those things. Look at that nice little fish. Look at the colors. Look at the colors coming through the sun.
Look how healthy he is.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely perfect.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right. Cold kiss. You're done. Thank you, sweetheart.
He ain't bad. It's a nice fish.
Nice fish.
This is a better fish. There
Yeah.
we go, boys.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Come here. Come here. Ah, oh, come here. Oh.
Don't pick him up at a line. That line could get fragile. Really.
There you go, my friend.
There you go.
Another Delaware River smallmouth. Look at that son of a gun. That's beautiful. I wonder if it was that the same fish you missed
Could have been.
a couple minutes ago.
Couple minutes ago. Could have been.
Look at that.
Is that a fine specimen or what?
I love the color on them. Just they don't call them bronze for nothing, do they?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, just nice.
Gorgeous
Look how
fish.
fat it is too.
Let's take a measurement of the girl here. Let's see what we got. Hold that tape up for me.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Whoops.
How
There
old
we
are we?
go. Are we up on her tip of her mouth?
Yep.
She's gonna go 19 inches.
Nice fish. I put her back in the water. Kurt, this is amazing that we're taking that nice fish off of this one piece of structure. It's just unbelievable, the quality of the fish that this river holds.
It's absolutely beautiful. My guess is that there's something here that's holding them here other than the calm water. There must be a food source, and the concrete is allowing the water to warm up a little bit, and the fish are definitely here.
One of the things that we were talking about, and you mentioned it, and both of you and I are pretty, on the Delaware River. We love it so much.
Absolutely.
Talk about how much you do love the Delaware River and how wonderful a fishery it is. What we have right here in our backyard.
The opportunities are endless. You have such a wide variety of fish. Me, I love the smallmouth bass. There's a lot of them in the water. There's a lot of them in the river. Sometimes they can be tough to find, but other times, they can be predictable.
Yep.
It's just an absolutely beautiful river to fish. It's clean. It runs clear. It's
and there's a ton of opportunity. I know we're talking.
It's in my backyard.
Yeah, it's in Delaware Valley right here. One of the things that we touched on a little bit while we're talking is that it has walleye in here.
Absolutely.
It has shad in here. Yeah. You get some largemouth. You caught a muskie not too long ago.
Yep. Occasional muskie she gives up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good fish.
Stripers.
Look how that has come on since the water's cleaned up.
Oh, absolutely.
And all that. So if you get an opportunity, get out on the Delaware River here, especially in this cold water. I mean, fish like that, that's a nice bragging fish for most people.
Absolutely.
It's right here on the Delaware River, nice and cold, but I'm going to go back in there and see if I can get you another one.
Get him, Bob.
Nice fish. Another thing that you have to look for, and Kurt, you came up with it, is that we moved to the mouth of a creek.
Absolutely.
Explain exactly what we have here and why fish this.
Well, you got the main river coming down here. You got a good flow. I don't know what the cubic feet is, but it's moving right along. And these creek mouths, well, number one, after a rising river like this, these creek mouths are the first to clear out. And they're also the first to even warm up even a degree or two. Well, it can play both ways in the winter because they can stay cold. But the fish will take sanctuary off the main current back into these backwater areas.
Yeah, and it's calm.
It's calm.
They got barge out in front of them that's coming by.
Absolutely.
But they can move, and literally they will move way up into these creeks.
They'll move all the way up in them. I'll fish them all the way up in. Better fish.
Nice fish.
Yeah. There's another pretty good thumping he put on it.
Yeah, he tapped. Found that.
Calm down, brother. Calm down, my friend. I promise I'll let you go. Whoa. Nice little 16-incher.
Yeah. Now, was he farther out?
Yeah, he was out here in the middle.
Out in the middle.
Absolutely. And I suspect there's going to be more of them in here.
Yeah.
All right, as you can see, you got a nice little flow coming down through here, and it gradually comes out as a goose egg size river rock and gravel, and it kind of flattens out, and then it kind of deepens up, and we're this trough right running through here is probably 3-4 feet deep, and at this level, and she'll drop down into 5-6 feet cut, right down along behind the bank, and this is an absolutely beautiful ambush spot for them, especially in the spring. But they're going to be holding up tight in here and just be.
We'll be right again,
yeah,
right on that.
Right on the current seams, anywhere in this area right here. Is this a typical wintering hole? Probably not, because the river fluctuates a lot. But when the water's rising like it has the last couple of days, that'll bring them in.
While we're talking here a little bit, Kurt, let's talk about water levels. Now, summertime, we know it gets low in here. That's why you have a jet boat. But the winter levels, what do you like when the flow in the wintertime?
I like the flow right about where it's at. I look at the USGS gauges, and you learn what flows are for the river heights. Like this one, for instance, right now at Regalsville gauge is right at about 7.8, and I know what that translates to all these shorelines, and that's the depth of the gauge in Regalsville. That's the closest gauge to this area that we're fishing, and I know how that translates into the depth, or how high and how much current's running through here and how deep we are.
So if you're thinking about coming out here, make sure you check the flows, because you can either get into a lot of water or a little
Absolutely.
water. So make sure you go go to our website, Delaware Valley Outdoors, and you can find the river gauges.
And now for a closer look at today's tackle, Delaware Valley Outdoors presents the Tackle Box. For more information about the tackle used on today's show, go to DelawareValleyOutdoors.com.
Okay, Kurt, we're here at the tackle box section of the show, and now it's a pretty simple tackle box today. We were using the hair jigs, but variety of baits that you use in cold water up here. Tell us about this space right here.
Well, that's a Lucky Craft bevy shad is what it's called, actually. And it's a jerk bait. It's a suspending jerk bait. You twitch her down in 6-8 feet of water and just let it sit there, you know, and the smallmouth tend to come up and they'll take a whack at it.
And you'll use this in the cold water?
Absolutely. Use it all winter long.
So even like 38, 40 degree water?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So definitely use it.
Without hesitation.
Now, the color here, what do we got? Is this the color that you do like? Or?
Yes, that's called a Pearl AU. That's one of my favorite colors on the Delaware. You also use a black and gold as a real popular color.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah. So that was it. All right, another bait, real popular bait, obviously. But a lot of guys don't use this in the colder water. I mean, you would think. Okay, what do we have here?
That's a 4-inch Mismo tube, big boy tube. I don't know what it's supposed to imitate. Maybe a crayfish, who knows? But I use that all throughout the winter also.
Again, how do you fish this? Same way as a jig, or do you just?
No, that one I kind of let that sit on the bottom a little bit more, or a little longer. I'll wait on because the tentacles tend to rise up into the water and have a little bit of shaking. And the smallmouth will come along and pick it up, as opposed to hitting it on the drop like a hair jig.
Right, and a lot of times I know that fishing these, it's almost a mushy type of a hit.
Always, yeah. They tend to pick it up and start swimming away with it, and that's what you're feeling. You're feeling the weight of them swimming away with it.
We're going to spend a little bit of time on this because we caught all our fish on it. Now these are hair jigs, real popular jigs, especially in cold water.
Absolutely.
Now, you tie these, am I correct?
Yes.
And that's one thing that you want to, if you get a chance and you're going to get into this type of thing, cost of these things, losing them, because if you're not fishing these in rocks and on the bottom, you ain't fishing a jig, let's face it.
That's correct.
So if you're not losing jigs, you're not going to be fishing. Now here, this color here, what do you like the red and the black?
I put a little bit of red, a couple of red hairs on the back of it just to give it a little bit different profile, a little different look, maybe a little flash to it. I just started tying them a couple of years ago. A friend of mine showed me the ins and outs.
And then the green thing?
Well, I use that in the clearer water. I think it adds a little something different, you know, just to, like I said, just a different profile.
Okay, and then we're just going to go to
pure black. That's my color. That's my favorite color.
And we use these obviously today a lot.
Right.
And you know what? Though, let's talk a little bit. Now these are 1/4 ounce. Now how high do you go up? Do you go to 3/8 or
rarely?
No?
If I'm in real deep water, if water gets over 15 feet or 12, 15 feet, and it's really moving, I might go to a 3/8.
But
for the most part, I'll hang in the 1/8 or 3/16 is my favorite weight. But I'm using 1/4 ounce. And the flows we had today, the 1/4 ounce seem to be working best. We're fishing in the current seams, and so.
Yeah, and you want to be able to feel that.
To feel it.
That's the whole thing. I know.
Absolutely.
We talked a lot about it. You know, just you and I just talking was that you have to have the confidence in the bait, but also you have to be able to feel.
Yes.
That bait and see what it's doing, because at this time of the year you're going to get that what we call a tick.
That's all it is. That's all it was.
But you want to be able to feel that in confidence. One other thing before we go off. Your line that you're using, talk a little bit about the braided line that you'd like to use in this type of water situation.
I'm using Fireline, Berkeley Fireline, and what it does for me, it gives me the confidence. It's more of a direct feel to the bottom or to the jig, and I can feel every little thing coupled with a graphite rod. And for me, it has proven over the years to be much more sensitive.
Yeah. Will you switch to monofilament as the water gets warmer, or do you stay with the braided all throughout?
My spinning rods are all pretty much the Fireline. Various weights. Some of them have 6, some have 8. I rarely go any higher than that because the stuff is just too tough, and you get hung up and you can't even get the snag out. You know.
One other thing that actually we have to talk about is this little jet boat you have here. To get around on the Delaware River, and I know the Susquehanna is obviously a real popular spot too to fish. You need a jet boat to cover the water.
In the low water situations, absolutely, which we had this year. This was a real low water year.
And to get to some of those spots that we had to go today, normally a regular prop boat would have a difficult time because we were going through.
Wouldn't be able to make it.
Wouldn't get it. But one unique thing about your boat is the bottom of it. Tell us about the bottom.
This has a 3/4 inch UHMW. It's a polyethylene molecular, it's ultra high molecular weight polyethylene plastic, basically. And it's screwed to the bottom of the boat and glued. And what it does is it basically makes it rock proof. You know, you can hit a rock at just about full speed and without any damage to the boat.
And it basically slides off.
Slides over. It has a natural lubricity is the right word, but it's slippery. They use it in the industry. A lot of industry uses it.
Because I know a lot of guys have jet boats, and there's always that bink.
Yeah, right.
And you can go over a lot of stuff. Now, it adds a little weight to the boat, but
The 3/4 inch definitely adds a lot of weight to the boat. And is 3/4 inch required? Certainly not on a Delaware, I wouldn't think, but I use it on the Susquehanna. And you know, I was glad I have it.
yeah, and it has buoyancy, you say too?
Yes, the UHMW is actually a 98% buoyant material, which means it will float.
So
Does it help the boat? It doesn't hurt it.
Right. Well, tell you what, there's a lot of good fishing out there.
Okay, Bob, we're up in we got a fast flowing water to our left, we have a fast flowing water to our right. We have a bunch of gravel islands that come up out of here with some trees on them, and in spring it gets grassy. And the current gets separated down in between them, and it comes down in. As you can see, it comes down through, and it creates a nice little backwater area, nice, calm, relaxed. The sun is beating down on it. We have rocks. It could be warming up a degree. Oh yeah, it looks like we come up almost a full degree in this area.
Yeah, it's something that you really wouldn't expect to hold fish. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's just
But here again, we don't have a whole lot of depth. You know, we only have 3-4 feet of water. But it calms down. The water slows down just enough for them to get in here and get cozy.
and they'll just sit right in here on these rocks
Absolutely.
and.
Sunning themselves, warming up, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, this is a kind of unique spot. I like this. You wouldn't not really think about coming in here. To be honest with you, you'd think, oh my God, there's no water in here, and you think cold weather, fish got to be in deeper water, but really they're just laid right in here.
Deep water is relative. You know, you don't necessarily need real deep water. You just need some water that's got holding power, which this does. You know, we're in 3-4 feet of water. But you have current breaks, you have two currents coming together, and the rocky islands make it an ideal habitat for them.
Oh, I got one.
Looks like a nice fish.
Yeah.
Nice smallmouth.
Nice smallie.
Beautiful. Uh-oh, keep away from that motor, my friend. Oh, you're still wrapped around the motor. Down. There he is. Oh. Now you're wrapped around the other way.
There you go.
Okay, you're all right. There's a beauty.
Nice fish.
Fatty.
Nice fat fish. Come here. Oh, you almost had me going there. Whew. Well, my friend, I want to thank you for
My pleasure.
a wonderful show.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
You got to get out on the Delaware River in the cold water and catch fish like this. You'll just love it. Hey, go to our website, Delaware Valley Outdoors. All the information, see the level of the gauge. We can get all that stuff for you, fishing reports. This is great. Hey, I'll see you on the water. Beautiful. I love when a plan comes together.
It's a beautiful thing, Bob.